Hey there, I'm Sully, and as always, welcome to the Gun Club. Alrighty, for those of you all who were expecting our special guest tonight, I'm sorry to inform you that at the last minute she had a small technical issue come up. She was unable to join us. She will be coming back in. We've talked about trying to set up a date. Most likely she'll be here next week. Tonight, I didn't have a whole lot planned, and as I started looking through different things I could cover, different things we could do, a couple things came across my feed, and, well, I figured they're worth covering because some of it really sort of applies to stuff that she and I were going to talk about tonight. And one of them in particular, we all hear about all the mass shootings that go on. And the media makes a lot of these mass shootings and these awful, horrific events. And as a result of it, we think there's a lot of them. Some of this is media manipulation. I like to call it media malpractice. We want to hear what the real story is and not just a version of it or a special version of it or whatever you'd want to say. On the other side of the coin, we have situations that go on that we don't hear that much of. And here's a situation that happened just recently, and it jumped off up in Pennsylvania. Now, again, didn't have a lot planned for tonight, so we're going from the hip with this one, but I felt that it's kind of important to do, especially in light of what we're going to be talking about. And some of it is very much just dealing with issues, so to speak, out there in the world. Now, you may have heard there was a active shooter that occurred last night, Walmart up in Ohio. We're going to be covering that probably next week on the channel. I'm waiting to hear a little bit more about it, get some more details. Right now, there's a lot of speculation and a lot of bad information out there. On the other side of the coin, here's an incident that just happened up in Pennsylvania not too recently. And I want to just sort of go and bring a little bit of a spotlight to it, because it's the events that we don't hear about, and they can make a big deal in a way. And the reason I say that is we're worried, and people want to, I guess some people, a percentage of the population, say, well, having weapons and guns and things out there, well, it's bad, it's scary. And they try to say, well, we'll be safer if there weren't all these big bad guns out there. Well, a gun in and of itself is nothing but a machine. It's a tool. It performs a function. A car is a machine. A power drill is a machine. A generator that provides electricity when you're camping is a machine. A generator that keeps your refrigerator running if the power goes out is a machine. This computer is a machine. Any of these can be used for good or bad. They can be used for positives or negatives. And in some cases, the gun is a very good tool for a job, and that job is self-defense, self-protection. In many ways, especially, and the guest I was supposed to have tonight, Carrie Sloan, is an active female firearms instructor and 2A advocate. And in a lot of cases, we'll see that the reason a gun is a very good tool for a self-defense job is it's a force equalizer. It allows a possibly weaker, smaller, or lighter weight female to take on a 6'2", 200-pound male and be on an equal level. 5 pounds of force on the trigger is 5 pounds of force on the trigger. And basically anyone can do that and do it successfully to be able to protect themselves from who knows what. And when we say who knows what, we look at cases like this. Now, this occurred again up in Pennsylvania. It's a recent article, came out today. King of Prussia man charged in stabbing estranged wife in a Walmart parking lot. Now, here's a attempted life taking that occurred in a Walmart parking lot that didn't make all the national news. It's still attempted murder just as much as the shooting was in the Walmart in Ohio. That made national news. That was talked about last night and today. There's bunches of articles on it. But let's find out a little bit more about this fine gentleman and what he did. Okay. A King of Prussia man who stabbed his estranged wife in what police said was a foiled plot to kidnap, rape, and kill the woman is facing charges. Boy, sounds like a nice guy. Now, when we look at a situation like this, 10:45 a.m. on a Sunday, Jeffrey K. Conway approached a woman while she was in her car in the parking lot of Walmart on North Gulf Road. Now, that's a simple enough thing. She went shopping at 10:45 on a Sunday. She wasn't in a bad place at a bad time doing anything wrong. She was living her life as John or Jane Q. Citizen would. And her ex-husband apparently is a little bit detached from reality. Has a little bit of a, we'll just say, she's got some interpersonal relationship issues, apparently. So the estranged husband, let's see, she had an active protection order from abuse order in effect against him. So that restraining order did a lot of good, didn't it? And that's one of those things that I guess we can sort of get a giggle or a chuckle or in my own little moan, my own little mindset. Yeah, restraining order did no good. He had a gun. Okay, a gun. And a metal pick. He stabbed the woman in the leg several times. Okay. She was able to escape out of her vehicle. She had to get out of her vehicle to escape from him and called to strangers for help. Meanwhile, he's got a gun and a pick. Now, if we take the gun out of the equation, he's still got a pick, which is a pretty significant edged weapon. In my days in EMS, I've seen an ice pick kill somebody. So we'll take it's a deadly weapon. Stabs her in the leg repeatedly. She escaped, calls to strangers for help. He was arrested in Upper Marion Township in a nearby parking lot. They found the large metal pick sticking out of his sweatshirt pocket, as well as black zip ties in the shape of handcuffs. Maybe we need better zip tie control. Okay, we need better pick control, better zip tie control. Someone, if you're out near a Lowe's right now, if you're going by Lowe's, tell them to take all the picks and awls and everything else off the shelf because, well, we need better pick control. So without the gun, we need to find something else. Let's see. In a nearby pickup truck, they found a black duffel bag containing a pepper ball gun with 2 magazines, 3 piercing tools, including one with his estranged nut wife's name written on it. I guess at least he planned ahead a little bit here. A 3-day waiting period would have helped a lot in this case, don't you think? If he went to the time to plan all this out and do all this and assemble all this crap, yeah, waiting period wouldn't have probably done crap for him. He also had a blindfold, duct tape, zip ties, okay, knives, wire cutters, pliers, and KY lubricant jelly. Can't forget the KY. Folks, you can't make this stuff up. And the thing is, cases like this don't make the news. The woman applied for a temporary protective order in September. It was issued by the court last month. He violated the order on October 20th when he allegedly stalked her through the streets of Upper Marion Township, yelling at her and threatening her. Then on October 31st, he was charged with violating the order, but released on a $5,000 unsecured bond. In the truck, police said they also found the court order issued to him, violation of protection order. On the bottom, I have 1.5 months to kill that bitch. That's his words. Could have killed her 17 times if I wanted. Folks, I'll blow it up on the screen. I mean, make it a little bit bigger here. Let's see what I can do. Do we need to talk about this anymore? Now, this woman, I'm sure, from just what I'm reading here, and I don't know anything about this case besides just what I've read thus far, I'm pretty sure she had a bit of fear about him. I'm sure she had a bit of apprehension. And, the article I read several months ago in the Girls and Guns stream, you can look back at it, was written by Carrie Sloan, which is one reason why we invited her on tonight. She is active with what we call, with the founder, of We the Female, and I invited her on tonight because she and I both believe in one thing very, very strongly. We come from two totally different backgrounds, two totally different sets of life experiences, but we both believe in public safety. Police, law enforcement, DAs are great about saying, oh yeah, get a restraining order, get this, get that, get the other thing, which is good to a point. However, the only problem is it's a piece of paper, and piercing tools and picks and things like that go through pieces of paper. So do knives and bullets and other things and drill bits, go through pieces of paper. This lady should have at some point, we would hope, be coached. Look, this guy's nuts. And as long as he's on the street, there's a potential he's going to do something. And given all this, what do we need to do? Have you ever considered getting a firearm? Have you ever considered getting a concealed carry permit? Because honestly, as anti-gun as some people are in this world, I got news for you. Sometimes the gun is the only tool that's going to do that job for you. The only thing that will protect her, she can get a book of restraining orders and they're all just a book of paper. The only thing that will successfully protect her from this idiot, either now or when he gets out in the future, is her 2A rights, is a firearm, is the ability, the force equalizer that will make her as big and strong and equal to him. It's fact of life. Hate to say it, but it is what it is. And Carrie has done a lot with that through We the Female, and that was something I had hoped to talk to her about tonight. Unfortunately, due to slight personal emergency, she was unable to make it. She's fine, just some stuff going on in her world that sort of fell out at about 5:30 tonight. So it is what it is. But let's go on here. So finds a copy of the paperwork in the truck with her stuff. I could have killed her 17 times if I wanted. Also in the truck was a 2-page note addressed to her brother, which detailed the habits of following his estranged wife and plans to kill her. The note begins, well, by now, Michelle and I are both dead. So he was planning a murder-suicide. So there's nothing to worry about. Listen, tell everyone there's nothing anyone could have done. There is nothing anybody could have done. Read it. Put that in there. Now, I want you to think of this lady as if she was your wife, she was your sister, she was your daughter. What would you tell her? I would tell her, let's go to the range. I would tell her, let's learn to shoot. I would tell her, look, this guy's dangerous. You can run to a point. You cannot hide. You cannot stop living your life because of this psycho. You need to be able to protect yourself. Someone asked someone once, why do you carry a gun everywhere? Well, because I can't carry a cop. A restraining order is great, and it gives the police some leverage to deal with it when they get there. Unfortunately, that's when they get there. Folks, it is what it is. So, we work from there. So again, like I said, he has a piercing weapon, an awl. So again, if you're at Lowe's, kind of know where that goes. So let's read a little further here. Police say an investigation determined that he had installed a tracking device on the woman's car and used it to follow her to the Walmart parking lot on a Sunday morning. Now, again, let's talk about the 3-day waiting period that they're fighting against in Colorado. If he had 3 days waiting period to go get a gun, could he successfully do it? Could he planned well enough to put a tracking device on her car, followed it for how long? said he could have killed her 17 times. A 3-day waiting period does nothing to stop him, but could slow her down protecting herself. It could slow her down being able to respond to this appropriately. He was arraigned Monday, denied bail. Thank you. Finally. I'm sorry. Violation of a restraining order, I think, should be a bail deny because that's sort of the proof someone's dangerous. He has been placed in a correctional facility. Preliminary hearing is scheduled for December 11th. Faces several charges, including attempted murder, attempted kidnapping, attempted rape, and other charges. Now, as we read a little further here, the most dangerous time for a victim of domestic violence is when she leaves her abuser, Montgomery County DA Kevin R. Steele said in a statement. The victim worked to keep herself safe by obtaining a PFA and reporting the defendant when he violated it by obsessively stalking her. She did everything right that she could, but no one told her the right thing to do. Thankfully, bystanders intervened to help the victim yesterday. This case determines just how dangerous domestic violence is, including stalking behavior. There are several resources in Montgomery County, blah, 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 blah. The Women's Center of Montgomery County can be reached anytime at this number, Laurel House. Folks, I'm a firearms instructor, have been for quite some time. Even before I was formally qualified as an instructor, as someone who carried a firearm for work, as somebody who owned several firearms for the last 30 years, more than one time, I had female friends or colleagues come to me and say, hey, look, I've got a problem. What do I do? And I've always said, let's go to the range. That's always been pretty much the response. Why? Because as a emergency responder, paramedic, firefighter, someone who's been on the end of 911 calls, who has seen the result of what happens out there, I understand 100% the best tool for that job for providing self-defense from Psycho McStalker over here is what? The ability to protect yourself, the ability to be your own first responder. Let's face it, even if she picks up the phone and calls 911 because this madman is after her, what is she really doing? Saying, hey, I need somebody with a gun to get over here and protect me because I don't have one to protect myself. So, looking at what some of the state's gun laws are, we need to make sure that these waiting periods, like, again, the Colorado one, that they're fighting, that's Garcia v. Polis, that case is going up on appeal right now. Think about that. Now, this is Pennsylvania. I'm not sure off the top of my head what their laws are, but again, when we look at the big scope of things, all these wonderful things do is keep victims unarmed. They do not protect victims at all. These waiting periods, these different things, they don't really do it. And so what do we have? We have a female who is literally unarmed, who is potentially a victim. And that's, again, kind of why I was hoping to get Carrie on tonight. She'll be on hopefully next week. Beyond that, a couple other things. There was the shooting last night in Ohio. I don't have major details on that. We do know that there were, I believe, one deceased on scene who was suspected to be the killer. We do know that it was possibly a long gun involved in the attack from what witnesses were describing. We do know that one was medevaced and there were a couple of others transported in critical condition. That's pretty much all I've got at this point. We'll see how it plays out. Also, for tonight's show, since we're sort of flying from the hip here, I want to go into the whole good guy with a gun thing. We do that a lot, and we talk about that a lot. And, the good guy or good girl with a gun, they're still out there, and it is what it is. We have a case out of Texas. This one is out of Borger, Texas. A man held a woman in a vehicle against her will and then led responding officers on a car chase that only ended after the victim shot and wounded the kidnapper with a firearm that was inside the vehicle. The only thing that stopped the car chase and kidnapping, it wasn't the police that were chasing them, no. It was the victim stepping up for herself and shooting the attacker with the firearm that was inside the vehicle. Now, if it was in there all along or what, I don't know off the top of my head, sort of shooting from the hip. But again, from that standpoint, around 3:40 on Friday, police in Borger, Texas responded to a disturbance in the 1200 block of Indiana Street. Before they arrived, the 911 caller said the suspect and the victim had left the scene, the female possibly being held against her will. This sounds kind of problematic to me. Maybe we need to look a little bit deeper into it. Let's see what we got here. All righty, blow this up. Folks, again, pretend it's your wife, pretend it's your sister, pretend it's your girlfriend, pretend it's your daughter. Female, held in the vehicle against her will. Officers spot the vehicle matching the description of the suspect one when it was driving as they leave the scene. Police tried to make a traffic stop. The vehicle took off towards Fritch. The chase ended near the Hutchinson-Potter County line. Not familiar. Chief Donnie Davis said the male driver had been shot by a firearm that was inside the vehicle. Suspect taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Okay, that was in Amarillo. Beautiful, scenic Armadillo, Texas. It is what it is, folks. On this one, suspect's name and charges have not been released. All I can say here is, as we look at the big scope of things, one more time again, this lady was her own first responder. Now, I'm not holding back and not throwing rocks at the PD. I understand that, and I've defended the PD on a lot of occasions. The bottom line is they can't ride around on your shoulder. They can't be there all the time 5 minutes ago. By the time you realize you need them, it might be too late. By the time you realize you need them, you may just be able to reach out and clear leather. Okay, another one for us here, because things, the hits just keep on coming. What do we have here? Let's go into beautiful, scenic Colorado. We talked about Colorado a little bit. Let's go a little further down the road into Colorado. All righty. This one, reported home invasion in Colorado Springs. Shots fired by the victim and the suspect in custody. Colorado Springs, Colorado. A man is in custody following a reported home invasion in Colorado Springs Monday morning. Police were called to the residence at Austin Bluffs just after 3 a.m. The report of shots fired. The apartment complex is near North Academy Boulevard and Austin Bluffs Parkway. Information was obtained from a home invasion that occurred within an occupied apartment at this location. The resident fired one shot and the lone intruder who forced entry into the apartment. The suspect was located by the officers in the nearby area. Apparently, he retreated out of the apartment, I would say, and taken into custody for burglary charges. Fortunately, no injuries reported. Suspect identified as Skylar Cisneros says 10 a.m. Monday morning he was in the El Paso County Jail. Folks, these people, again, their own first responders. You're kind of seeing a pattern here. I understand, and believe me, I get it, the fact that, some people say, well, we're trying to turn the world into the wild, wild west. We're wanting everyone to be, whipping out a gun, doing this, that, and the other. Folks, you'd be surprised when you see some of this stuff going on, how crazy it gets. From that standpoint, it is what it is. Let's see here. Issaquah, there's another one we've got here. The funny part is, or not really funny, but, these cases seem to pop up pretty reliably, and they seem to pop up pretty frequently. So what do we have here? Let's say bring this one up. Again, bear with me, sort of flying out of net tonight, but we're going to do this one. We have the girlfriend fatally shoots boyfriend as he's breaking into her house. What does this say about ladies with guns? Investigators say a man was breaking into his ex-girlfriend's house Friday morning when she shot and killed him. Happened at 10:25 a.m. at an apartment complex, 2900 Northwest Steel Lake Place in Issaquah, or whatever. Not sure how you pronounce it. Sorry about that. Anyone who knows how to pronounce it, please feel free to send me hate mail in the chat or post on later. Woman shot the boyfriend is breaking in. According to the police, woman shot the man once, killing him after he broke into her home, allegedly. I'm devastated that this kind of violence could happen right here. From now on, I'll be walking the neighborhood with a gun, neighbor Trina Fretman told Como News. Chief Paul Schwann said the shooter called 911 immediately to report what happened and has been totally cooperative. The coalition of small police agencies' major crime task force is investigating. Girl with a gun. Good guy with a gun. Good girl with a gun. I don't care what the gender is, what the makeup is of the group, whether it's a male on female or female on male, or how you want to play it out. This is a potential victim turning the tables on a potential attacker and thus keeping themselves safe, keeping themselves alive and intact, and preventing themselves from being raped, kidnapped, tortured, or whatever else the case may be. And yeah, YouTube, I'm sorry that I went a little bit hard tonight. Yell at me later. It's okay. There are crazy people out there. There are stupid people out there. And from that standpoint, I really think that we have, the need and ability to protect ourselves from these fools. When you want to talk about fools, and again, we have some great fools in the world. We can talk about all these wonderful, adventures that go on. But as we dig in a little bit further here, how about this one? Now, this one is a real interesting one. This wasn't necessarily a good guy or girl with a gun. This is just, I think somebody trying to go out and get themselves a Darwin Award for Christmas. Now, fortunately, a Darwin nomination for Christmas. Fortunately for this individual, they did not get a Darwin Award nomination for Christmas, although I'm sure they came pretty darn close. This happened right up the road from me. It's actually a range that I have gone to and shot at multiple times, and I wanted to share this. It came to me through a friend who mentioned it the other day. Suspect in custody after bystanders stop a chef to stop them. Those damn chefs stop a theft at Greenville County Shooting Range. The Greenville County Sheriff's Office announced that a suspect was recently taken into custody after trying to steal guns from a shooting range in the area. Deputies responded to Sharpshooters Range along Rutherford Road at 4:45 after someone reported a man had come in, broken multiple display cases holding guns, and apparently tried to steal them. According to the deputies, people inside the business confronted the man and stopped him until deputies arrived. And the deputies stated the suspect was taken into custody and transported to the hospital with minor injuries, and they're working to learn more about the situation. This one is courtesy of our friends right up the road at WHNS Fox, Carolina. You just got to wonder here. You just got to wonder. Folks, robbing a shooting range, robbing a gun store. Let me give you a little hint here, okay? I'm gonna go up big screen on this one. People who work in shooting ranges, gun stores, firearm stores, everything else, especially the private ones. Now, maybe not so much up at the big corporate versions like Academy and things like that, although I like them. I'm not throwing rocks at them. But the mom and pop gun ranges and gun stores that I've been to, the vast majority of people there are firearms enthusiasts. And because they're firearms enthusiasts, they may or may not get a lot of things at discounts or, like guns. And their range time is probably free, and they probably get their practice ammo at cost or at least a good discount. They probably do a little bit of shooting here and there in their life. And they're probably wearing rather large firearms. Some places you go to work, they won't let you carry, or you've got to keep it concealed, or this, that, and the other. The ranges I go to, there are people with full frame 1911s hanging off the side of their hips. And these people are cocked and locked, and they know what they're doing with them. My point is, of all the places you want to go to steal something, a shooting range, a firearms store, that type of thing. Not smart. Now, I almost wonder, and there's a little corner of me that wonders if this wasn't a chance to try to possibly cash in his own birth certificate. Figured maybe if he does something that stupid and grabs one of these guns that they'll take him out. Maybe this was trying to be, like shop clerk assisted suicide. The thing is, if you go to any, reputable range or any reputable store, everything that's in the display case is unloaded. They're not going to put loaded guns in a display case for people to handle. So the guy was dumb enough to not only go in and do this, but okay, he's going to reach in and grab one of these unloaded guns. How's that going to work out for the home team, you think? I've got some ideas, but I don't think it's particularly good, and apparently it wasn't. And of course, he was transported with minor injuries. I'm sure, just again, knowing the clientele and knowing the people around there and having gone to this range and shot there on multiple occasions, even at one point offered to do a medical class up there for them, for their instructors. So I know some of the people who work there. Folks, this is probably got tackled to the concrete floor pretty hard, I'm guessing. And I'm sure that, that was all that was done to him. I'm sure nobody worked him over or did anything untoward toward him. But on the other side of the coin, between reaching in, breaking glass, possibly cut himself, gets hit with minor injuries. How dumb you got to be. How is this plan going to work out? Not smart, folks, not smart. And very easily could have gotten himself nominated for a Darwin Award. Had he come in and he had threatened any of the staff in there, you threaten one staff members and you've got three others clearing leather on you, and the one who's sitting there just going, yeah, it's not going to work too well. Because when you're threatening, there's three people behind you. So don't rob gun stores and gun ranges. Don't do it. Go figure out someplace a little bit better, because there's too many people in there who are too ready to defend themselves, who are trained, who are equipped, and who are more than happy to stand up for their business, stand up for their employer, and say, no, you're not going to do your crimes in here. Yeah, this one definitely could have been a Darwin Award winner. All righty. Onwards and upwards. Something else I wanted to share. I had some stuff prepped for tonight, and I brought it up here. And it's something I was going to discuss with Miss Carrie had she been able to make it, but with her not being able to make it, I do still want to cover it real quickly. And that is her organization that she founded, We the Female. Give you a little bit about it here. They're doing a raffle coming up. The drawing is at the end of this month and the month of November for a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 2.0 and some other swag bags and goodie bags. As of right now, they've got Brownells donated a Smith & Wesson Shield M2.0. I think Moms Who Carry and Cold War Concealment was donating some other swag. We, through the Gun Club podcast, have donated a range bag to go along with that. It's actually a pretty nice bag. We got it in the other day. I was looking at it, as well as my full-time employer, Valor Medical Services, is donating a bleed control kit. So the lucky winner is going to get not only the Shield 2.0 that Brownells donated, there's going to be a bunch of other swag coming with it and a lot of other goodies. Looking over $700-800 worth of prizes by the time it's done. So you can make a donation for a chance to win. Now, as far as what We the Female does, I was going to let her talk about it, but largely it's teaching an approach to self-defense. Arming women goes beyond firearms, teaching them a holistic approach to give women the skills they need to face these real-world scenarios with a defensive mindset. And this is an organization I've mentioned a couple times in the past on here. They've got some sponsors who work with them or support their work. Folks, you look right here, Black Rifle Coffee, Savior, Darkstorm Industries, Mossberg, True Shot, Taurus, Grayman Solutions, Battle Arms. Support these things. Support these organizations. Why? Well, these organizations support We the Female. We the Female is the ones out there trying to help teach and get more people trained and equipped to be their own first responder. When we talk about different things, you can check out their website. I'll put it up down here on the bottom. I've got nothing but respect for what they're doing and what they're trying to do. And from that standpoint, it is what it is. Like I said, I wish Carrie had been able to come join us and shoot the bull with us tonight. But if she can't, that's cool. I did tell her we're going to be doing some, PR for this, just because, quite honestly, it's a good cause. It's a valid cause. Plenty of other things we do. Hey, they've got, coffee on there. They've got some other stuff as far as, setting up to get the raffle tickets. I believe the raffle was $25 a ticket or 3 for $50. Let's see here. Trying to find. Okay, that's their donation page. Bear with me a minute. I'm going to wallow around here to see what I can find for the raffle entry. Okay, here it is. The raffle entry they actually set up so you can do it on Give, Send, Go, of all things. Why? Well, let's face it. If they're going to be raffling off a gun, we might as well do it on Give, Send, Go and support them. And here is the info on that. And again, I'll throw this up a little bit bigger. You can read it. Currently, it's up to about $1,100 raised so far. And so from that standpoint, definitely help We the Female and win Smith & Wesson Shield 2.0 from Brownells. Received more requests for financial assistance from single mothers and abuse survivors in 2023 than we have in the past 3 years combined. Thanks to the generosity of Brownells, you can support our mission to arm the women and have a chance to win at Smith 2.0. One entry is $25, 3 entries, $50. Committed to our mission to arm the women with education, confidence, and self-defense through a unique, holistic approach to helping women embrace personal safety through developing a defensive mindset, empowering them to choose self-defense options they're comfortable with, while our mission encompasses providing resources for education outreach, funding for training and permits for women from all communities. Our primary focus is on women disproportionately marginalized by the broken justice system, including single mothers, domestic violence, sexual assault survivors. 100% of all the donations go to support the mission, providing supplies, educational tools, hands-on training, applicable permits for women without the financial resources to support pursuing self-defense training and education. So that's what they're all about. And again, I wanted to put this out there, give everyone a chance. Folks, we're the 2A community. If you see this at whatever point you do, go out, support these ladies, support this organization. It's an organization trying to do right. It's an organization trying to help people who are being victimized be their own first responders, be able to take their own self-defense in their hands, control their own destiny. There's no reason for these, individuals to be victims. So we'll say that for that. I'm also going to go on record as saying something else. I am in South Carolina, upstate South Carolina, right outside of Greenville. I'm a firearms instructor as well as a SLED certified CWP instructor. If you're in the upstate of South Carolina and you're interested in firearms training, if you're never touched a gun in your life and you just want to know basic firearms, Guns 101, reach out, hit me up. I will step up. If you can't afford training, if you want training and you don't know where to get it or what to do, folks, I got news for you. I'll do it. I've taken people to the range, my guns, I've supplied the ammo, I've covered the range time so someone can learn. If somebody is dealing with a DV situation or needs to learn, by all means, reach out, get in touch with me. I am more than happy to take people out. I do not want victims. I want survivors, and I want to empower and enable survivors to be their own first responder. We teach through my organization not only self-defense, firearm shooting, we also teach medical care, emergency care, things like that. By all means, reach out to me because we need to stop this. And so if I can do that, at least in my area, regionally, locally, whatever you want to say, to help prevent this stuff, to help take a stand against this stuff, I'm in. No cost to you whatsoever. We'll go out. I've got classroom facilities. I've got range facilities we can go to. We'll teach you start to finish anything I can. Why? Because we don't want this to go on. I don't want to read about people getting kidnapped and stabbed and this idiot with flex cuffs and all this stuff or wire ties. No. That doesn't go with me. Never has, never will when I've seen the end of it. So by all means, definitely check out We the Female. Check out, what you can. Do something to support them. They've got a bunch of promo codes on the bottom of their webpage for their different supporters. I believe if you order from one of those, such as like Blackout Coffee, if you use their affiliate code, they might get a little money from that too. So even if maybe, you're not doing something where, you donate, you buy a ticket or two. But if you're going to get some coffee, order some Blackout Coffee and go with that. It is what it is, folks. Help them out. I'm also going to throw the out there, any firearms instructor certified, whether NRA, USCCA, state certified, whatever. If you're willing to step up and also help survivors, reach out to me. We'll go ahead. We'll put you up on the podcast. We can build, theoretically, a nationwide network to protect survivors, to enable survivors to protect themselves. All right, that's all I got for today. Folks, I appreciate you coming by. Sorry we had to sort of change and fly without a net on it, but if you will, take care of yourself. Be smart. Be safe. Bye.